Hi everyone, it's George, the North End Wino, and I am here in the Wine Bottega with Jill, our resident wine expert. And today we're going to learn a little about Valtellina?
Valtellina, that's
Valtellina, right. I said it right. Okay. So what is the deal with Valtellina? Why do they call this one Valtellina?
Yeah, so Valtellina is the name of a place. It's not the name of the grape or the winery, but the name of the place where the grapes are grown. So Valtellina is in northern Italy. So if you're looking at the boot, it's going to be in the upper right in northern Lombardy region, bordering the Alps, the Italian Alps, or the Swiss Alps, depending on which side you're on. So we're at a
good chocolate on either side.
Yes.
That'll go great with the wine.
That's true, that's true. So yeah, Swiss border, it's essentially mountain wine.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Okay. And where is this from? What estate do they grow this on?
So this is Triaca. I think I'm getting that right. This is actually a new product for us. We just brought this in. But yeah, old school winery founded in the late 1800s. Apparently it was actually a former monastery.
Oh, wow.
And of course we all know how much monks love wine.
So, what else is there to do? You're not even allowed to talk in some of them.
Exactly. So they make the wine, and but yeah, very, very old estate, very traditional wine.
Now you were saying that it was like mountain farming. So like, how do they do that? What kind? I mean, it's kind of slopey, no?
100%. So when you're on these really, really steep slopes, the way they plant the actual vines is sometimes called contour farming or step farming. So it's literally like step and then vines, step and then vines, like a staircase.
Okay.
And that's really cool because obviously you're on a steep slope, you're on an altitude, but the most important thing is that you can't get a tractor on those really steep slopes. You can't get a harvesting machine. So all of these grapes actually have to be harvested by hand, one by one.
Oh wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work.
That's impressive. Although I'm sure there's some people that would love to try and get a machine in there.
No, exactly.
I know a guy. Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And what's the predominant grapes in this? Is there a multitude of grapes, or is it a single varietal?
Yeah, so it's a single varietal, and the grape is actually Nebbiolo.
Oh.
So a lot of people don't realize that, you think Nebbiolo, of course we think of Piedmont, Barolo, Barbaresco, the famous
I love Nebbiolo. That's one of my favorites to drink.
Us as well. Anyone who shops here knows how much we love Piedmont and
Absolutely.
Northern Italy.
Great stuff.
But they actually grow a lot of Nebbiolo at this higher altitude in Lombardy. And you'll see when we taste it, this style is going to be very, very different from that Piedmont style.
Really?
Yes.
So even though it's a Nebbiolo, it's different.
And that's what's so exciting to me about tasting these kinds of wines is that you could have two of the exact same varietal, but if they're from different places and sometimes just, a mile apart from each other, they can taste super different.
Wow. See, and that's actually one of the things that is so wonderful about wine. It's not just like cola is cola. A Nebbiolo is not just a Nebbiolo, depending where it was grown, and not just where, but every year is going to be different. You're going to have different growing conditions. So, that's one of the reasons why when it comes to wine, vintage is such an important thing. I'm looking forward to giving this a try. Just one more question. Why isn't this just called a Nebbiolo?
Yeah, so that's another great question that we get often. So if you're shopping for wine and you're in the U.S. section, right, everything's going to be labeled by grape. It says Cabernet Sauvignon on the label. It says Chardonnay on the label.
Right.
But in Europe, it doesn't work that way. European wines are always labeled, almost always, there's always exceptions, by the place from which it is grown and not the varietal. So even though you won't see the word Nebbiolo anywhere on here, sometimes they put it on the back. I think they actually might have here.
Yeah.
In fine print.
I see it. There it is. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh. So even though it's not prominent on the label, that's why you want to ask, somebody at your wine shop or look it up on the internet and say, okay, what kind of wine do they grow in Valtellina?
Right.
And then that kind of forces you to get to know the place a little bit more.
Excellent. Well, let's
Yeah, so it's pretty light in color.
Very light in color.
Yep. And what you can kind of expect from this higher altitude Nebbiolo, it's often...
That's almost like a garnet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very
really,
light red.
Yeah.
You can see through it actually. If you put your hand up, you can kind of see right through the...
Oh, yeah.
So it's very, very light. Much lighter than a Barolo. Oftentimes it might be a little bit more floral, maybe kind of rosy or lighter strawberry. But let's see. I've actually haven't tasted this yet, so.
Excellent. Blind tasting for both of us.
That's right. Wow, so the first thing I get is a huge burst of acid.
Yes.
My mouth is watering, and that's
very
all
much.
that acidity.
Okay.
And a lot of that comes from the fact that it is grown at a higher altitude. So you've got, hot days full of sunshine, but then at night gets really, really cool. And that's when those grapes develop a lot of that acid that we're tasting.
You are absolutely correct. I mean, this is not like any Nebbiolo I've ever had before, but it's fantastic. It's delicious.
This to me is a very pretty style, a very elegant style. And it'll evolve in the glass as well. This has been open for, maybe 10 minutes.
Right.
As we go on drinking this, it's really going to open up.
Yeah, I mean, it's already beautiful. And, if you watched our last video, you'll know that, part of the reason for doing the swirl is to bring some of that oxygen in there so that more of that flavor and aroma can come out.
It's true. And the other thing you'll notice, aside from flavor, is texture. So I'm sure you know Nebbiolo, fairly tannic grape, right? It's known for its high tannins.
Yes.
And the tannins are still present, but they've got a less astringent nature to them. It's kind of a little more granular. They kind of sit on your palate a little bit differently, so that texture of the wine as well is different.
Right. But nice. This is beautiful.
This is really pretty. That's really good.
that is really, really good. I mean, if you guys have a bottle, pour a glass and join us. Why don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's great. We can all have a glass together here. This is fantastic. This is going to be featured this Friday along with 3 other wines here at the Wine Bottega. So if you happen to be here in Boston in the North End, stop on down during the tastings. What time are the tastings?
Starts at 5 p.m. and we go until 8.
5 until 8 p.m. Mrs. Wino and I usually pop down here ourselves for the tasting, so you might run into us. But this is fantastic. How much does this one go for?
So the Valtellina goes for $38. If you come taste it, you'll get 10% off.
Excellent. So 10% off if you come in on Friday to grab this. And I mean, even without the 10% off, I mean, $38 for this is fantastic.
For
this
a
is absolutely
high-class
beautiful.
Nebbiolo that's of this quality, it's actually, I think, a really good price.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for watching. Cheers.
Cheers.